All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We are in the truck trying to grab up our stuff. I don't need those. We had to add a little bit of bug spray to our life. Maybe we'll get lucky and it's still nice and cool out and we don't have to worry too much. All right, well, get ready for the ridiculously awful screech. Oh yeah. Okay, I got the keys. Okay. So we are at a different park today. We are at the Dismal Swamp Wildlife Trail. There's a hunting board. I guess you can coordinate with the park rangers and get hunting permits for over here. This is the Washington Ditch Boardwalk Trail, so it's going to be a nice flat thing for us. The Great Dismal Swamp Wildlife Refuge. I can already hear a bug flying around me. It's great. So, here's the signage. Alright. Now, you saw is a 3/4 mile trail. It should be real easy, something smooth. I'm just going to walk nice and gently. Oh, I'm going to show y'all all the signs just like some of the other videos I'm going to try to do. And then we'll back up so that you can see the whole thing. So, I know I didn't post yesterday, my second day, and I'm already slacking, right? Right. Well, I'll tell you what wound up really happening was I kind of overdid it yesterday, and I ended up not really caring too much for the ending of the video, so I may cut it down a little bit and post it at a later date. But for now, this is the third day of walking with my lymphedema, and I just want to start out by saying limit yourself, pay attention to your bodies, and know what you're doing. I ended up walking too much that first video, and it took me 4 hours of laying down to deal with the problems I caused myself. And I kind of wanted to talk about that. I'm a little scared of all this, and so I panicked a little bit, and so I did some dumb stuff, and I overdid it. That's just what it is. So, moving forward, I'm going to try and, walk a little slower, be a little bit more deliberate and diligent. Oh, look, there is some damage here. So if you come here, watch out. There is a broken board or two with a cone upside down in it. Almost seems like you would want to put the cone in from the bottom and then, put a little something, screwed down into the deck with some screws to hold the base of the cone up. But what do I know? I probably wouldn't climb underneath into all that stuff either. But this is pretty nice. I can see where in the summertime, spring and summertime, this is gonna grow in and be super thick. You can already see some of the vines trying to come on up. Yeah. This is really pretty out here. There's another sign. Pause if I'm not staying here slow enough. I'm used to pausing things. Most of the viewers or creators I watch on this app, they intend for you to pause stuff when you're watching their videos, which is fine. No big deal. But anyway, I'd overwalked myself, and I'll give you some backstory just to put it in so that you guys understand. We had done some measurements on my thighs to measure my general dimensions so that we could start messing with the compression sleeves or stockings rather. And there was a 2-inch difference between my right thigh and my left thigh. So basically what happened was when I got the compression stocking, I basically put it on and didn't take it off for 2 straight days. All while walking around and doing all this. Well, what I should have done was compress, go for a walk, uncompress and sit with some elevation for a little while. Like, lay back and let your legs drain and let your abdomen pull the fluids up like they're supposed to. But that's not what I did. I left it on, and what happened was I basically, over the course of a couple of days, pushed all that fluid from my leg all the way up inside of me. And it ended up affecting my manly bits, which was not a fun time. Here's another sign. And basically, my thigh's the normal size now, so I'm less freaked out about that. But I pushed all that fluid in other places. Oh, look, another bench. Nice little cubby. And they had bird stuff, so we could do that. Oh, I used to be a bridge. I wonder why they blocked it. All right. We're doing pretty good, y'all. We actually ended up meeting someone. His name was Matt. He was a really, really, really cool dude. If you guys see him down in the comment section later on, he says he's gonna subscribe and comment. So if you see Flying Colors pop up, be sure to go give him a follow. Guy was really cool. Super awesome conversation. Gave me another park to go check out. So I'm having a pretty good morning. Speaking of which, Matthew, whichever you prefer, if you do end up finding your way to my channel, I tell you what, hello, thank you for the subscription, man, and thanks for the chat this morning. It was great, man. I'm gonna look into that microphone. We're gonna see. Speaking of which, since you're gonna follow me, and we talked about the microphone, and you're hearing me talk to the phone now, I'm trying my best to keep the phone about face level so that it's direct, but if there's anything about it that, like, if it's too squelchy, if it's too tinny, or because I feel like I listened back to one of the video I've got posted from the other morning, and I feel like it felt a little weird, but anyway, super cool. I was out here trying to, like, avoid people and stuff, and shit, cool people everywhere. The black bear. I'll tell you what, if I see a black bear, I don't really... You guys might hear the dookie roll down my shorts. I don't know that I am prepared to run into a bear. Okay, so we got to split. We can go left to the observation. We're going to go right to the Washington Ditch Trail. So I'm going to say that I'm pretty sure I saw him walk the opposite direction. Hi. We're going to go down this way. Hit that observation deck. Some of the spots on the floor here feel a little soft. I wonder what we're gonna observe on the deck over here today. Sorry I'm not talking more. I know I started off pretty strong and then I faded out. I get a little self-conscious when there's people close to me, and I don't really know why. YouTubing is a normal thing, and I'm doing this to support anybody who wants to watch and join in, so it's like, there really shouldn't be any need for me to feel any kind of way about it, but I don't know, it does. I'm from the 90s, so, you know, super tough guy, no emotion. Only emotion is shame and anger. So, you know, forgive me. It'll be a little awkward at first, but I gotta work on things for myself just as well as we all gotta work on trying to get more healthy. Try to keep these walks going. I'm still feeling pretty good. My calves are a little tight, but that's not really that big of a problem. I did the other day start to worry when we turned around in the first video. I couldn't tell if it was like, oh no, my legs are swelling, or oh no, my calves are just wore out because I'm walking too much. It's because I was walking too much. My left calf started hurting real shortly after we turned around. Well, all right. Well, at least the observation deck wasn't too far off the way. Now we can go back the other way and we'll just make the full circle. We'll see where we get. I know I said I was going to try and do this for an hour or two each day, but I'm going to be really honest. I don't know that I'm going to be able to keep that up. Not right now. One, just some of the trails that I get to, they're short, and I don't want to walk them too many times in a row on camera, just because it'll get kind of monotonous, especially if, you know, I'm continuously repeating the same thing. So I'm going to try to keep going to different parks, different sections of the park. So like you saw at the beginning of the video, we're in the Great Dismal Swamp Wildlife Refuge, and this is a massive park. Now, where we're at right here isn't that big. Now, I say it's not that big. I mean, like this boardwalk, this area, the parking lot, it's not that big. But if you go over to Route 17 and go up from Virginia all the way down into North Carolina, just a little bit north of South Mills, I actually think the end of the park is at South Mills. There's a parking lot right there at the corner where you can go up and down the 17 side of this. I haven't seen many trails that crisscross applesauce through here, but the Lassiter Trail, or whatever it was, up north of this where we're at here, that did have some pretty deep, you know, pathways off into the park. But what I'm getting at with how big this is and how many different locations in here there are, each day I'm going to try and go to a different spot. It might still be the same park that I'm showing you, but it's hopefully going to be a different section of it. And then I'm intending on having a couple days where I like walk around in my backyard. I'll walk down my road because, you know, I live in a rural area in the country, and it's pretty quiet and it's pretty nice. I've got a pretty big yard, so, you know, one day I'll do something of a yard tour so that everybody can see all my junk. All right, so we went to the observation deck, and now we're going to go back to the Washington Ditch Trail. And we're still early into this, so I'm still trying to find different places, but, you know, I got to make sure that we balance the financial burdens of going different places, and my truck gets horrific fuel economy, so I got to make sure my little itty bitty jet is up to the task and do stuff where I can, and etc., etc. Is this going to be another observation deck? Oh, it is. We're going to go to it. We're going to go to another observation deck and see something. Maybe there will be some water this time. I mean, I know there's water everywhere around here, but like lots more water. Big water. Man, it's a shame. They need to come out here with a leaf blower and blow all these things off so that they can dry out. I think all the leaf litter is kind of holding this thing back. Because you see all the water all around on the ground. You know, you get super damp stuff like this, you end up with all kinds of wood rot and everything else. I mean, you see all the trees that are down there rotting away. But if you can get all this leaf litter and nonsense off, you know, when the sun does get through here, it'll kind of help dry stuff off. And here's the other observation deck. This is pretty open. don't know why, but I like all the little, you can see like little nubs. It's like little people standing there. He's got the dad, the mom, and the little baby. It's cool. It's nice. I can tell you what, I know for a fact that the mosquitoes are going to be horrific out here during the spring and summer months when it warms up real good. Right now it's about 65, I'd say. Maybe a little warmer out here. It's pretty all right. It feels nice, and we get a little bit of a breeze, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Somebody getting a phone call. I can hear the phone ring, 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 ring. Whoa! I tell you what, it's I need to change my ringtone. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I need to find a little audio file of the Pokemon ringer from back in the early Indigo journeys. I think it was ring, 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 phone call, phone call. So stupid, but I loved it. I was like, oh man, a phone that talks to you, tells you that you got a phone call? That's cool. That's so much cooler than just it ringing by itself. I see there's a bunch of wood there, a bunch of processed wood. It means something probably broke into this at some point in the past. They had to do some repairs, which is crazy because this thing looks like it ain't been real repaired in a while. Feels pretty suffocating in here, even though it's not grown in yet. I wonder what it's going to be like when it all starts to fill out and starts filling with green. Here's another sign. I don't immediately see all of the little mosquitoes flicking around in the water. I know it'd be hard to see from while I'm walking, but no, it's okay. I don't really hear any bugs either. There's a few up at the front, but that could have just been something to do with the fact that there's trash cans up there. Sometimes it amazes me that stuff like this exists, just because anytime you've got a lot of groundwater, you have the potential for the root systems to be incredibly soft in mud rather than locked into dirt. And I think the only reason stuff like this can exist is because the forest acts as its own windbreak. So the thicker it is, the less the wind actually gets down to the ground in here. And so it's kind of a double-edged sword because it lets stuff like the walkways rot because there's not a lot of wind to wick the moisture away from anything. There's not really a whole lot going on there. So then you get the canopy. The tree canopy is eventually going to start filling in real thick, and you're going to lose a lot of the sunlight that directly comes through the trees down here. So it makes sense that the water and the forest can survive, but then you look around and you do see trees down everywhere. Limbs, branches, whole trees. You see all these with all the moss all over them. That's all old stuff that's fallen years ago. So it's pretty cool. I like the boardwalk though. I mean, it's a little soft in places, like I said a couple of times, but if you walk in the center where you know that there is going to be a structural board, you have less likelihood of going through the side of it. I like to try and walk on the studs, or the joists, I guess would be the closest term to what I'm trying to say. The floor joist that actually holds the crossboards, the ribs, so to speak. I'm not a carpenter, so forgive me if I sound really dumb when I'm saying certain things. Oh, look at that. So it looks like we are done with the boardwalk portion. Oh, yeah. So, up there, you see that little white sign? It's sign, but it's little down here, not where the car is. So we could go left, and in 4 miles, we'll run into Lake Drummond. And I'll be honest, I think I'm going to save this for a bike ride, because this is pretty nice. But this is the Washington Ditch, and this road follows this ditch all the way out to Lake Drummond, I believe. And I like this because I always like inland water holes and streams and stuff, because, you know, you get into the city, and, you know, it's actually a good point. Me and that guy Matthew were talking about, you know, everybody knows what the city is like. Everybody knows that you can go to the concrete jungle and you can deal with the animals and the traffic and the bad fucking transportation systems and high-ass taxes, and you can do all that, or you can come out here and you can just look at things that, you know, mankind's not really capable of making. You know, this isn't us. This isn't something that we did. This is something that, you know, created itself. I know some people are religious, so, you know, I know the general theme is that God created the heavens and the earth and us and everything in between, and I'm not terribly religious, so forgive me. And I'm not knocking on you for being religious either. It's just not really my game. I like the idea that there may be, you know, an ultimate reason why we're here, a creator, so to speak, just a purpose, but at the same time, life's pretty bad at sometimes, and it's kind of hard to imagine that anything would create something and then let it suffer in such crazy ways, because, you know, it's kind of a why me, always me complaint, but, like, you know, they try to say that the devil is why the bad things happen and this and that, and it's like, yeah, but for what? I don't know. I know it's all supposed to be some kind of a test, and you know, just keep your faith and surrender yourself to the Lord, and your life will hopefully be better. And, you know, I'm not saying that people who spend their lives dedicated to the church don't have great lives, because a lot of them do. I don't know. I'm young, and I have a very vibrant mind about things, and I have a very questioning mindset. And I've just kind of learned over the years that my typical mindset and the questions I ask, those are the questions that people don't like to answer when it comes to stuff like this, because they think I'm trying to poke holes in it, and that's not it at all. I'm just a very logical, you know, kind of straightforward dude. I don't really think too hard about much. It just, if I have a question, it snaps into my head and I ask it, and that's just what it is. Man, this is pretty. I do like this a lot. I just love that the trees are in the water. All right, we got a little bit more history, another sign. This is the Washington Ditch. Surveyed by George Washington in 1763, a cart road was built first along this 4.5-mile ditch, and the canal dug alongside by slave labor for the transportation Gresham Nemo. The personal direction of George Washington did the surveying and kept the notes. Cool. Slavery is bad, but history is okay. History is what tells us that we're still doing the right thing. We can look back at our history and we can see the mistakes the people that came before us made, and learning those mistakes are kind of how we manage to not have any mistakes moving forward. So, consider, and I have struggles with this because I'm a pretty bitter person. I'm pretty angry on the average day, especially just feeling the way I feel on average. That's where this stuff comes in. I'm trying to get out, get rid of those bad feelings, get rid of this negative energy, and just try really hard to, build myself up, build other people up. It's too easy to be an asshole, and I know that all too well. So, I'm trying. I'm going to walk over here to this sign too. They got a little picnic area, a little pavilion, so that's pretty cool. All right. Which is funny, the sign's turned all kind of funky. I don't think I'm going to stand over there, but Washington and Company used this spot as their Dismal Swamp headquarters. The town was built prior to the Nemo survey of 1763 on Riddick 402-acre patent. I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, look, we got tick warnings. There you go. That's pretty cool. I like that. They got double lock. Made it a bitch so you can't get cables to it. Do not block gate. I wasn't gonna. Oh look, there's the other side of it. I could have just come over here. I didn't realize it was a double-sided sign. We're gonna walk around this parking lot a little bit and try and hit the 30-minute mark. I think I'm doing pretty good. I've had a couple of itches, but I don't think we're doing too bad. So I don't really care too much about the hunting information, but I saw this. This is pretty cool. 1973, a gift of 49,097 acres of the Great Dismal Swamp from Union Camp Corporation to the American people forever. You got the Union Camp down on the bottom. I don't immediately see. Nah, there's nothing on the backside. That makes sense because they weren't trying to get you to stand in the flower bed to do any of this. I know this is hard to read. They need to bring somebody out here and clean this stuff up. And I know it's hard because the park rangers don't have good funding, and it's a damn shame. If more people would come to these places and more people would reach out to their governors and senators, it would explain the importance of these different locations, and it would kind of force their hand into picking the budget up for people to be able to do stuff. We are back at the truck. Oh yeah, I love that squall. Such a great noise. Alrighty. So now's the fun part. I get to find out if I can sit in my chair comfortably or not. Like I'd said, I overdid it the other days. And yesterday wasn't so bad. And I felt a little better today in general physically than I had with all of the swelling to begin with. So try and empty my shoes out real quick. I got stuff all in them. Alrighty. But we're gonna find out if I can sit down. If I can sit down, then we're good. But if I can't sit down, I gotta lay in the back, and I don't necessarily want to do that, but I guess if I gotta. It is what it is. But anyway, y'all, this was our second video. It's the third video I've recorded while walking. Like I said, I may upload that second video from yesterday. I haven't decided yet. I got a little choked up at the end. That's honestly what happened. Since you've made it this far, I'll go ahead and be honest and transparent. I kind of started to break up and tear up a little bit at the end of the last video, and I really didn't want to post it because I'm kind of embarrassed. And again, there's things that I'm going to have to work on with this, like me walking around in public areas and having people see me do this. That's its own challenge because I'm self-conscious for no reason, and I just, you know, I got to work on that. But also, you know, talking about my situation and the illness and stuff at times, especially if I'm trying to be positive about something, it's a lot easier to be mad about something than it is to be positive about something. So for me, when I start trying to push that positivity button, it like, I don't know, it just kind of starts to make me feel like crap at times. And not crap in the sense that like I feel bad, sad, or depressed, but like crap in the sense that I know it's bad for everybody out there, and I wish we didn't have to struggle. I wish we didn't have to do the things we do. I wish we didn't have the problems we have, but as much as I hate it, we have them. So do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like. Do me a favor and just keep in the back of your mind, I don't necessarily know you, but I want to know you. I don't know what you're going through, but I'm willing to listen to it. If you want some kind of a support structure, make sure you give us that subscription so that we can help each other out. I want to get to these live stream points so that I can get the 50 subscriptions up and be a little bit more interactive with this so that we can each do this daily instead of me having to go out, find a spot, record a video, upload the video. I'd much rather just be live action with you so that we can have good conversations and just be decent people to one another. Thankfully, I'm not feeling any kind of way about my emotions or feelings, so we get to end this one on something of a high note for me. But on that bombshell, I appreciate it, everybody. I love you very much. Thank you very much for any of the minutes that you dedicated to watching any of my stupid videos. This is a little hard for me to do, like I said. It's a little embarrassing. I'm a little self-conscious, but you know what? I just want people to have somewhere where they can come together and get a few hours, a couple hours a day where they're not just stuck in their heads. They're not stuck in that isolation. So help me get to that 50 subscribers, and then we'll get to these live streams, and then we'll work on building ourselves a badass community of supportive people that don't want anything but the best of things for everybody we know. All right, y'all. Next time.